Welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast, where it's all about the fake stuff. Craft man, you ain't been here for a little while. What's up, man?
Just enjoyed the week at Disney World, but fantasy never leaves the mind. So I was sitting there thinking I was ready to get back on the episode and missed some of the rookie talk last week, but I know y'all held it down good. So I'm just happy to be back.
Yes, sir. Me and old Swizzy held it down, and I dropped my final rookie rankings. Then me and Chris hopped on the pod, started yelling at each other a little bit. Had to trash David Thomas. Had to trash Noah Dick Blower. Had to trash them all real quick. See, Swizzy, what it do, man?
Yeah, I'm trying to contain the spawn of Satan right now. He's going a bit insane, so if y'all hear a bunch of banging and stuff in the background, that's my oldest in the background going crazy. Just had to change for 10 minutes to change his ass, so I mean, Jesus. Gotta love being a dad. Gotta love it.
Oh man, I am with you though, Chris. Ain't nothing better than being a pops. That man said, Craft Man said it before the pod. He said that man Chris dedicated to the pod. Look at his ass, man, running around with a kid.
Gotta pull it up on my phone, ready to go.
Ready to roll, man. But hey, man, real quick before we get started, I just wanted to say that man Craft Man went to Disney, and guess what I saw, Chris? I seen that man with a mask on, with a Biden Harris hat, drinking a Bud Light, man. And the dude's got blue hair now. I know they can't see it, but the man's got a blue hair yelling.
You know what Disney does to you, man? They put this like thing on my head, and it measured my impulse, like my pulses in my brain, and like changed some shit around. So
every conservative thought you had, it shocked you. It was like. Yeah. It was like, oh man, we should really stop illegal immigration. Zap! Fuck no! Don't think that.
Oh,
all the things
we should protect the middle class. Zap! Fuck no!
All the things Matt was right about. I did come home today and was like, man, I want a Bud Light, so I got me some Bud Light.
Oh man, I hear you though, Craft Man. I'm glad I had a Craft Man back. Before we get started, we're going to talk about where we slot these rookies in. We're just going to talk about rookies, but step away from the draft. Talking about, Craft Man only had a long ride home. Joker done got all his dynasty rankings set. Me and Chris, we going to work on ours a little bit, and we're going to get a large sample size. We about to hop into some dynasty rankings pretty much is what it sounds like over the next few episodes. Craft is getting into it. Heck, I forgot what I was gonna say, but before we really get started, add the podcast, 5-star review, all the good stuff. Hey, we about to start hopping back on YouTube here soon, so thanks for listening, all that good stuff. But Craft Man, let's just go ahead and get this night started. We done chopped it up enough. Just go ahead and just get us started for the night. I don't even know where to begin. Just go ahead and roll with it.
I mean, like you said, I worked on my rankings like for 4 hours on the ride from Orlando back home, and just kind of I had my already pretty much.
You got to ride. You didn't have to drive. I'll be having to drive. I don't get to ride. Must be nice.
Yeah, I just had to ride. I just got to ride. I drive all day anyway for work, so
Yeah, that's true.
Take a little break, but I had my rankings pretty much set before the ride, so I just had to kind of slot in these rookies, and it wasn't the easiest thing to do. But starting off, we got old Marvin Harrison. We done talked about the rookies. I slotted him in at number 5, right behind Amon-Ra. The big guys: Chase, Jefferson, CD, Amon-Ra. The hardest one I had was, does he go ahead of Puka or not? So, I want to hear y'all's take on that, because I actually did it. As much as I love Puka, probably more than anybody on this podcast, I had to put Marvin Harrison one slot ahead, but they're in the same tier to me. So, what do you guys think about that?
Go ahead, Chris.
I mean, I think I'd put him ahead of Puka, but like in that same tier, just because he's going to Arizona. I mean, he's going to be the go-to guy over there. While Puka, I mean, he had a really good rookie season, but he's still the number 2 with Cooper Kupp there. I mean, I honestly think this kid's going to come in and succeed. We're talking about generational wide receiver talent. I mean, coming in, I think that's a good spot. I definitely got him above. Like you said, you got him at 5 right after the 4. It's like your 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D kind of deal. So I definitely got him ahead of like AJ Brown and all of them, like because to me they're just kind of trending down. So I would definitely slot Marvin Harrison right in there.
Yeah. Craft man, literally when we was talking about this, I dropped that pod with my rookie rankings and I brought this up about Marvin Harrison. I said in a dynasty ranking, I would probably slot him 5. I would, of course, there's the 4. I don't even know if everybody agrees with us that there's like, to me, the tier 1 would be a 4. And it's like CD and Amon-Ra, Jamar, and JJ.
Yep.
And then I would slot Marvin Harris there. And I think the question is for like other folks out there is like, yours is like with Puka. Like, would you rather have Marvin or Garrett Wilson?
It's AJ.
Marvin or AJ Brown, all those guys. And I think, me and you, we always talking about rookies. Like, we want to try to hold off on rookies this, rookie that. The landing spot, though, shit don't make no sense. The dude's got the super draft capital. The talent is there. We don't even have to talk about that. But then he goes to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
5 is where I would slide him, Craft man.
Yeah, if Garrett Wilson had a quarterback for the future and I knew that he was set, that's the only downfall with Garrett Wilson, why he wouldn't be ahead of Marv. Because, like you said, I side on the players that have actually done it in the NFL. But like Chris said, I don't think this guy's going to fail. I mean, I'll plant my flag. I'm sure everybody in the world has planted their flag on Marvin Harrison. I just don't think he's going to fail in the NFL. So with Kyler there, sounds good to me.
Yep. I'm with you, Craft man. There ain't no planting no flag on Marvin Harris. There ain't no room for that shit. Everybody done planted that flag. They got hell. So I'm
Flag
with you,
all over
Craft.
the place. It's like Pokemon Go. It's like go into Walmart, look around. There's a flag, Marvin Harrison flag.
So I'm with you. Like we ain't done our dynasty rankings, but hell, there's a peak to our top 5 right there for you. Top 6, 7, something like that. So I'm with you. Let's go on to the next one though, Craft man. So give us the next conundrum up there.
All right, I'm gonna mix it up. Not staying with receiver. I got Caleb Williams at QB 10. He is behind Kyler Murray at 9, and in between Kyler and Dak Prescott right now.
Ooh.
And that's tough.
Yeah,
for me.
look, man. Let me just think about it off the top of my head. We're talking about if you got him 9 in, I agree. I feel like I already know this. That's probably a spicy take for a lot of the world. Like
You got him at 10.
I'm just saying having Kyler above Caleb Williams. That man Kyler, one of the most hated men on earth, just because the man plays Call of Duty. I mean, who's the other 8 we got there? We got Jordan Love ahead of him.
8. We'll just skip the top 3. We know who that is.
Right.
So it's Burrow at 4, Stroud, Lamar, Herbert, Anthony Richardson, then Kyler. But now looking at it, Caleb Williams gonna have to drop one more to 11. Jordan Love's heading above. He's gonna be below Kyler, and Caleb will be at 11.
So Craftman making adjustments on the fly. Chris, I mean, what you think? I mean, let's just be real. If we're at a startup draft, I would probably take all those guys ahead of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a tough one to me. Chris, what say you, big dog?
I don't know. It's hard to rank these quarterbacks like that, especially these young ones coming in. But I mean, as we know, again, generational talent coming in. I honestly don't think any number 1 overall pick's ever gone to a situation like Caleb Williams is going into either. I mean, like the kids, obviously he's got it made. So if he don't produce, I would feel good about taking him down there. I honestly would take him over Kyler and stuff probably just because I'm one of the Kyler haters because he plays Call of Duty. That trash motherfucker. Uh, he's a good fantasy player. It's just like it comes down to one of them things where it's like if I got to watch you run around the field, if I got to watch you run 20 yards to gain 5, I'm just going to be kind of irked and pissed off.
But it does rush. Or does rush though.
He does. He does rush. He does rush, and there's upside with rushing quarterbacks in fantasy. But I would just take him. I would take him over Kyler and leave him kind of in that same spot that you got him right there. And I feel like that would be good value.
What about Love?
See, I mean, I like Love and the weapons that he's surrounded by too. I'd probably have Love right after Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, crap, man. Where does old Jaden Daniels slide in to a situation, to a dynasty ranking?
I got him at 17. He's behind. So Caleb was at 11 because I moved him down. Bitch ass. Already having second thoughts. But I got Jaden Daniels, but is behind Trevor Lawrence, Purdy, Tua, and Jared Goff.
Man, I'm glad, Craft Man. I'm glad you did your rankings. It gives me stuff to think about, man, because I don't know what. In truth, Craft Man, if we're talking about just like prospect wise, I didn't even think Jaden Daniels was the second best prospect. So we'll just have to see how it goes in Washington. But he does got a good landing spot, all in weapons. The rushing upside is good. So I don't know. I was just curious. I don't even know what to do with that Joker.
Yeah, it's hard because you're doing your rankings thinking about if I'm on the clock in a startup, who am I taking? And if you're sitting there looking at Jared Goff, who you know is going to be a solid QB2 on your team, probably for years to come, I do think Detroit's going to figure out a way to give him some money and sign him for like a 3 or 4 year deal. If you can get a 3 or 4 year deal with a quarterback throwing to Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta and everybody else, it's kind of hard to pass up on a quarterback like that and pick a rookie that you hadn't seen play yet.
Right. Yep, that one's. All right, crap, man. Go ahead. Toss us another one, man.
All right, going back to old receivers, we got Malik Neighbors. I don't know what y'all gonna think about this. This one was tough, but I got him at wide receiver 12. He is behind Drake London at 9, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and then he's in between Jalen Waddle and Chris Olave.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, Craft Man. I think I would move him up. I probably would put him ahead of. We make fun of DT for going and getting Malik Neighbors and stuff like that, but in truth, I think Malik Neighbors is gonna be great. So I think I would rather have Malik Neighbors over Waddle, who I just traded for in a league, and I know I'd rather have him over Tyreek in a dynasty ranking. But yeah, Giants too, though. Chris, what say you, man? What do you think about that one?
I think right now, Neighbors is going to be a great player. This dude's an outstanding playmaker. Like, if you go watch this dude play, I mean, he's a freak of nature. Like, it just feels like the catch radius is everywhere around him. What I got to see, though, is what's going to translate into fantasy. This dude, we've got to see the Giants get the offense going. Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, who's going to be throwing this dude the ball? Is the offensive line any better? Because I promise you, if it's not, you might be taking a little flyer on Malik Neighbors this year and just hoping it gets better the year after. Because, I mean, that Giants offensive line was like a turnstile going into Disney World, like it literally like walking into that was how easy it was to get through the Giants O-line last year. So I think he's going to be a good player, man. I got to see how the offense shapes out. I think I kind of agree where Kraftman's got him. Like, I think where Kraft put him is kind of safe. You're not, you can expect him to have some good games. Olave had some good games. And then you just got to wait on consistency from the offense that he's in.
Yeah. The reason I got him ranked ahead of Olave is just based on I think Olave is kind of capped right now with playing with Derek Carr. He can be solid,
right.
but he's going to have a lot of targets.
Man, I don't know if you I know you probably listened to the last episode, which one of my biggest value picks in this rookie draft in the 4th round, if you got him, was Spencer Rattler coming up behind Derek Carr. I think that was a good little pick for anybody that made it, just in case, because Carr's been on the decline, and like I said, I do think that them receivers are capped with Derek Carr there.
I mean, I agree with that to some extent. I don't know what the Saints are going to do like next year if Derek Carr shits the bed. Like they could go out and really they might be one of the teams that's like, oh, we got to have a quarterback, in this next year's draft. But Derek Carr is just a bridge quarterback at this point. Like he's just there to dump it down to Alvin Kamara and throw it to Chris Olave. That's about all he does.
Yeah. I like Olave as much as the next guy, but yeah, you're right, Kraft, man. Totally capped in New Orleans, no doubt about it. The situation over there just is poop. I say it's poop. It could be worse. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm a little, maybe just a tad bit higher on Malik Neighbors. I think we all agree Malik Neighbors is probably going to ball out. Not much to say. I say let's move on to old Roma Dunze though, Kraft, man. Where you got him at?
I got Rome at 17. He's in between Devontae Smith and Nico Collins to me. So, but there's a tier right there. It's he like Brandon Ayuk's right above Devontae Smith, and after Dunze at 17, you got Nico, like I said, then Rashee Rice, Michael Pittman, DJ Moore. So, it's very tough to rank this rookie that high. I mean, there's no way I could put him above Devontae Smith and Brandon Ayuk. Devontae Smith is one of the best wide receiver twos in the game, and Adunze's still got a couple years before he even makes it up to wide receiver two, or at least until Keenan's gone. So the rookie year being not what you want it to be is kind of pushing him down a little bit, but the upside is definitely there.
Yeah. I said on a little solo episode the other day about Roma Dunze, and I know Chris doesn't 100% agree with me. I think a lot of people were fading Roma Dunze, like Swizzy was saying, and honestly, I understand the argument. And Chris wasn't using this argument. This is going to be a Twitter argument. A lot of people want to compare the Roma Dunze situation to the JSN situation. And to me, it's like, man, if we can't look at them two situations and even think they're remotely similar, I feel like the quarterbacks different, offenses different, the position that they play different. It's all the way different. So I think people. So that's why I was curious about old Roma Dunze. I think I'm a little bit higher on Roma Dunze. I took Roma Dunze 105 in our draft. I think some people would agree with that. Some people wouldn't. I was taking them ahead of quarterbacks and stuff like that. But then I ended up getting them quarterbacks anyways. You know how I do, crap, man. I do my thing. You know what I'm saying? So Roma Dunze and this is the truth. I think Roma Dunze, Malik Neighbors, and of course Marv. I think all three of these guys could end up being in like the top 15 in a dynasty ranking next year when we do this shit all over again.
I mean, they already close to R with my rankings. I mean, Adunze's the only one outside of it at 17. So,
what about 12? Top 12? Could they all be in there?
Yeah, because there's a couple veterans that could drop out. I mean, Tyreek Hill, he's definitely going to be further down your list after this season because everybody knows he's got 1 year left before he retires. Because he's pretty much admitted that. So, yeah, Dunze could jump over Tyreek. He could jump over Olave easily. I got Tank Dell up pretty high. He's above Roma Dunze right now because I've seen CJ Stroud and I know what he can do.
Right.
I think Tank Dell is probably, if y'all want to talk about him, he's probably the highest on my rankings than anybody's got him.
Where's he at, crap, man?
I got him in between Chris Olave and Brandon Ayuk at wide receiver 14.
Man, crap, man, you fool! Somebody X him out of this screen, Chris. Somebody delete him.
Chris is shaking his head like, yeah.
I like it. I do like it.
I'm just kidding with you, Crab Man. I ain't mad at you for it. I'm just being honest.
If he can get over, it wasn't Tank Dell's shot though. You got
He's
shot the other day, bro.
Yeah.
He was a bystander
Started.
though.
I seen him in the club and he started running that mouth, bro. I had to fucking pop, pop, pop.
I'll pop that thing. Yeah, listen, I ain't even mad at Kraft Man because my honest opinion on the whole Texan situation, Tank Dell and Nico Collins, you might as well try to go buy them this year. I know their value slipped a little bit because of Stephon, but let's just be honest. Like, even best, I mean, what's gonna happen? I mean, I don't know. You want to know what's really gonna happen, Kraft Man? Is that man Stephon's gonna be acting like a fool probably and doing his thing. He's gonna be out in 1 year, and then we all gonna be wishing we bought Nico and Tank Dell while they was a little bit cheaper.
I mean, Tank Dell is the guy that C.J. Stroud wanted to bring in last year. Like, they drafted C.J. Stroud, and C.J. Stroud said, "Hey, I'm y'all's franchise quarterback. Give me Tank Dell, please." Like,
we did kind of roast on him for doing that. We for real was like, did he want to Tank Dell? Who the fuck wants Tank Dell? He asked for him specifically.
man, I had Tank
And
Dell last year, and he was freaking great when he was on the field. I mean, he had a pretty bad injury, but I mean, dude was going off. Then he's got a position where he's not going to lose anything we've done talked about. If Diggs is going to hurt somebody, it's probably going to be Nico.
Yeah. Yep, I'm with you. I mean, Craftman high on Tank Dell, and why not? You know what I'm saying? Heck, I lost my train of thought. So, go ahead, Craftman. Throw us the next one.
All right. Well, going over to running back. Well, shoot, we're going to do quarterbacks now because Chris hates Drake May with a passion. Now we already figured that out. He can't stand his ass. All right. I like Drake May. I'm probably the highest on him out of all of us. I got Drake May at QB 19. In between, so it goes Jaden Daniels, Kirk Cousins, Drake May, Baker Mayfield.
see, here's my thing. You say you like Drake May, right? And then I hear that you got him after Kirk Cousins, and then I'm like, do you really like Drake May, Austin? Do you really like him? He's at 19. You know where I would put May? How many teams are in the NFL? 32. I put him at 65. That's about where. That's about what I'd have it. I'm not big on Drake May, man. Not at all.
I mean, I think 19 is a very conservative ranking. I mean, I don't think he's God or anything. I mean, don't you think? You don't think that is that too high or too low or what?
Man, Crab Man, you are just say it one more time. One more time. The list.
All right, it was Jaden Daniels 17, Kirk Cousins, Drake May, Baker Mayfield.
Oh man,
I got Baker in front of Drake May.
that man Chris
Yeah,
said.
I'm telling you, bro. I got Drake May Drake May for me is like 30. Like literally, he'd probably be like one of the last people I would take. I don't care about his age. I don't care about none of that, dude. I think.
Crab Man, I'd put him ahead of Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield with ease. I wouldn't even hesitate. And
So you might be the highest.
I'm the highest, but the thing is I feel like all of us are just lower in general. I just think Chris is way lower than I am.
Chris hates Drake May so much, but you did say you'd have him above Cousins and Baker, but you're not going any higher than that. You're not putting him over Goff and Tua, are you?
Putting him over Goff and
no, this is
no.
bad. I know you're not.
Name a quarterback, and if you can name a quarterback that I'd put Drake May over, I might give you some money.
Justin Fields.
No, because you know why? Because they're saying this dude's going to be returning punts, and with the new NFL rule, he might have some He might have some actual fantasy value with these kickoff.
Daniel Jones.
Changed. I mean, we don't like that situation though. Like, I don't know if he's starting. If he's starting, I'm still taking him because he's got Malik Neighbors and all these players. Like, I'd still take him over Drake May.
Man, Daniel Jones at 26 for me, and then this Aaron Rodgers after that. So
Yeah, what you call it? Chris is a hater, man. That just going too far,
I'll
man.
take Aaron Rodgers for his entire tenure on the field with the Jets, which was all about 10 seconds over Drake May.
Golly. Well, Chris, where do you? I mean, Kraft man, where do you really stand? What do you? So you're not a Drake May hater, but you're not as high on him. I guess I'm the highest, is what we're saying. But
I
I,
think that y'all are just unbiased on Drake May.
yeah,
Like,
like I like Drake May, and I like Drake May as a prospect, and I think as an NFL, when it comes to NFL, if I'm not gonna say something crazy and act like I'd have Penix ahead of him, because I like me some Penix. I would say Drake May as NFL's prospect was 2 in my eyes, but it's only fantasy is where I'm coming with Jaden Daniels. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was an NFL team, like if I was the Redskins, I would have definitely took Drake May over Daniels. I feel like. Um, I don't know, Kraft Man. Am I crazy? I feel like Kraft Man, you're just in between me and Chris. I feel like I'm not like the highest on Drake May. I just look like I'm super high because Chris is just a hating ass motherfucker.
I just feel like y'all look super high on him because I'm so low on him.
yeah, he is like Will Levis to us last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, Will
I-
Levis way ahead of Drake May, bro. Like,
God dang.
Kraft Man, I think you know what. I'm sorry, Kraft. I thought we was gonna have to X you out of the screen. I might have to X Chris out at
Yeah,
Will Levis.
nah,
Chris, ain't you got a
I'll
10
play
tier
into
or
it.
something, man? Ain't you got to like go over there? Doesn't he need his diaper change or something right now?
Nah, not yet.
I'll say this though. Chris practice was he preaches. He's got 0 shares of Drake May. I know that for a fact.
What
I almost
is
had some Roma Dunze shares. I was trying to trade for Roma Dunze.
is your problem with Drake May or is it with the landing spot?
It's both. I mean, I didn't think the kid was that good. I'll tell you how I viewed this draft. It was Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. I had Michael Penix at 3. And then like Drake May was like down there. It was like McCarthy, Bo Nix, I think Spencer Rattler, and then like Drake May somewhere down there. And like I started seeing stuff about this kid going too, and I honestly couldn't believe it, dude. And like I like football. I sit there and I watch football and stuff. I don't think y'all sit here and laugh at me all you want to. I don't think I'm wrong about this.
Hey, this is the truth. We do have our takes, and this is Chris' take. This is his hard take of the rookie season right here.
Yeah! You gotta say up.
Shout out to Silas. I hear him.
There he is.
You know, it's funny as Ileana, she usually stays up late sometimes, but Silas, he beat everybody tonight. He's the late one tonight.
My boys wore out. He is done.
Crappy making him do some push-ups and stuff. Be like, get tired.
I ain't got to wear him out. He does it himself.
Crap, man, give us another one. We don't win on Drake May. Man, let's talk JJ McCarthy. I want to know where JJ McCarthy slid.
I mean, y'all probably ain't gonna like this, but it went Drake May, Baker, then McCarthy, and then Deshaun Watson.
Well, look, I'm listen. I'm gonna go ahead and make a comment about Deshaun Watson. I've had faith. I ain't gonna say faith. I've given him the benefit of doubt for a long time. Me and Chris are some Clemson fans, right? Man, I'm just glad that I don't got no Deshaun Watson. I'm just being honest. Like that dude, I'm gonna be real with you, Crab man. That dude folded under the pressure. The pressure of him being hated on. That's what it was. That dude cannot take it no more. That dude was one of the most clutch guys I've ever seen. Like I even told Chris, there was even times in college when he was down by 9 with Florida State. I said, all right, Deshaun's got the ball in his hands. Couple drives, it's over with. We going to get the win. In the NFL, the dude's doing his thing in the NFL with Houston. That dude
Yeah.
crumbled under the pressure, man. I hate to say it. The dude was a kind of a liked guy. So that's my Deshaun Watson spill right there. But J.J. McCarthy, My thing is when McCarthy is, I think he's ass. He was
Me
the Will
too.
Levis. He was the Will Levis of me this year. But man, when you walk into a situation with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and Hawkinson, and hold up, crap. The coach likes to sling the rock. We ain't seen
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy do all that. The coach likes to sling that thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I don't know what to think about JJ McCarthy. I mean, as a talent, I hate it. I just think he sucks. But
and here
man,
comes Chris. Here comes Chris. I know he got something to say about
Chris,
JJ McCarthy.
go
He's going
I
to
mean,
ahead.
have
I didn't really
above
like watching
Caleb.
JJ McCarthy play in college either, though. I just figured that where he would land was gonna. I mean, it was probably gonna be the Vikings, and that's where he ended up. And I mean, like, it's just a really good situation. I mean, like my whole thing with May, like after Penix, it was just like a massive drop to me with those. I really wanted to see Penix go to like the Patriots or one of these places like that where we would see him play because I like Michael Penix. I just hated
Man,
where he was picked. Like,
So if
crap.
Phoenix
yeah,
would have went to the Patriots, you'd have been cool.
he's better than Drake May, dude. He's
Hey,
better.
I'm gonna be real. I ain't mad at Chris for saying that because as far as like throwing the ball, I say it every time I talk about Penix. It was just an honor to watch that man spin the ball because that joker can sling it. When it
Just
comes to
sling it,
throwing,
dude.
man, when it comes to throwing, I would take him over Caleb Williams any day, any time of the year. When I was watching him in the playoffs, the placement, crap, the placement of that deep ball, I just can't get
See, and
over it,
that's
man.
another big thing. Like Drake May, they were talking about, oh man, he's got a cannon. He's got a cannon. It don't matter if you got a cannon if you can't hit if you can't hit nobody with it. I saw like accuracy inconsistencies watching him play in college and just bad decision making. And I know that's normal. Like that's normal. That's gonna happen to all. That's gonna happen to Caleb Williams. It was pick number one. I mean that that's just inevitability. But I just thought this dude is slinging this thing, and I'm telling you, like perfect placement of that ball landing in that receiver's hand. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I definitely would have took him earlier. And like I said, my whole spiel on the other pod about Penix and all that, it just had to do with the pick and the fact that we aren't going to see this kid for 2 or 3 years. Like that's
Yeah.
my issue with. That's why I think it's a dumb pick because you go that high, you expect him to play.
Well, where do you where
And
where in the world do you put Phoenix in your dynasty rankings? I mean, above Kirk
he's got to be
Cousins?
playing for me to rank this kid, dude. I go off like you got to be playing for me to even consider ranking you. Like that's
Yeah.
just the way that I am. If you
But
I can't rank a single player that's not on the field because you know why? Their value right now is absolutely nothing.
well, the number 8 overall pick in the NFL draft has a lot of value.
It does in real life, but we're not talking about real life. We're talking about the fake shit.
Yeah, but in real life, that
Yeah.
means he's going to get on the field, which means
Eventually, and then the year before, when you find out he's going to play, that's when that value comes in, right?
yeah, exactly.
Like,
I
what are
mean,
you giving up? What are you giving up right now to go get? Well, I mean, I don't need to ask you what you're giving up to get Penix, like because you kind of got the trade deal of the century, like.
y'all do say that, but I want to defend Noah on this
Hey,
a little bit.
before you do, I just want to say I defended Indy B just a tad. I did hate on him, but I did defend him just a tad. But go ahead, Kraft.
All right, this I didn't even talk to Noah about the trade. He just sent it, but if you value Michael Penix that high, and you're a rebuilding team who knows that they're not winning this year or next year,
He has Kirk Cousins too.
say he valued Penix at the 110, 24, 24 first, 110. You give up a 25 first and the 210 and a third. What is the 210 and a third? Me and I talk about it all the time. That's nothing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So he gave up a 25 first.
We agree on that.
What quarterback in the 25 class is going to be ahead of Michael Penix this year? He's already going to be 1 year down the road of not starting, getting closer to playing on the field. So, I mean,
If not starting, you think that there's a possibility that this dude starts, like, overtakes Kirk Cousins this year, next year?
I'm just
I
saying
don't rule it out.
I'm just saying for next. Yeah, I mean, it could happen, but I'm just saying for this year. Like, if you're in the draft next year and Michael Penix is
I
just
don't
sitting,
think so.
somewhere.
Eh.
You're not giving up the 110
So
and
other
get a quarterback.
than Kirk Cousins getting hurt, that is the only way that I see them playing this kid.
But they're not.
You
But
can't. You
Noah's
just
team
can't
isn't
do it.
going to win. Noah's team's not
Well,
trying
I
to win.
know that Noah's in full rebuild right now doing it. Like I know, like I understand the mentality of why he's doing it. Like I understand all of that. I get it. But I'm just not giving up a first. Plus, like I know
Yeah.
that we established
The
that the second and
210
third
and a
value
third?
is nothing for
The
the
210 and a
205
third.
for a quarterback that I can't even rank yet. Okay, so like you're asking me where I'd have Penix. Where y'all got him?
I got him right below Bryce Young,
Right below Bryce Young. Where's he at? Probably like
24.
24.
Damn.
That's actually pretty high. I figured you'd have Bryce Young. I'd have him
Nah,
probably like it'd be down there. I
I
just
would
got to
just
see
have to
some
see.
improvement.
Yeah, I'd have to
Yeah.
see my rankings. Here, this is one thing I was
But Bryce,
saying.
it was well. Sorry to cut you off, Matt, but
No,
it's
go ahead.
Bryce Young, Penix, Fields, Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so then how does that warrant his first round value to you right now?
The rankings will be higher next year. I'm doing these startup rankings as I would pick them, and
Right.
there's no way I'm taking Michael Penix. But there's a difference between startup picks and a established dynasty league of where your team is and where you want a player. Depending on every rebuild.
I don't hate on it. I see what he's doing and how it could pay off down the road. It's just I wouldn't me personally, I would never give up a first round pick to just trade back to the 205 and pick Penix that might pay off in 2 or 3 years. I just
Okay.
I couldn't do it. You know, and that's where I'm flabbergasted by it. Like I mean, yeah, I see
think,
what he's doing, but
yeah.
I just don't.
All right, look, I want to jump in here. I got to say something about it because, all right, I'm going to make I ain't going to say it's a hot take, but if you think about it, Noah Dickblower did go get a quarterback. In some ways, him trading up and giving that first for Michael Penix makes more sense than what David did, giving up a whole nother first and going to getting a wide receiver. And that was like
I
early
mean,
in the
now I
first. You know what
do.
I'm saying?
Now I want to say I do completely agree with that
But with
when
that
you compare it
said,
like that.
if you think about value wise, if you think about it, this dude Penix was getting drafted at the 205. So to give up a first round pick for a 205, you know what I'm saying? Like theoretically,
Yeah.
I'm not saying Kraftman because he just said he just got the trade. If in theory, Noah Dickblower could have got Michael Penix for a couple seconds. You know what I'm saying? Couple seconds and a third, couple seconds and you know what I'm saying? Like a
Nah.
first in your rookie draft for a 205, the value just doesn't match up. You know what I'm saying? But
Well,
it's a quarterback too, so I want to give credit to the quarterback position. But you know what I'm saying? So in some ways it makes sense. And here's another thing: if this dude Michael Penix goes and then starts and plays for 6-7 years or whatever, NDB he wins the trade. You get a starting quarterback for 6-7 years or whatever. You got good weapons. I mean, he
yeah.
definitely. It's like that trade I did with Kraft. I meant with poor man P Miller. Shout out to the poor man. He gave me a first for Will Levis. Like on its surface, it looks stupid. It looks crazy. But if Will Levis goes out there and does his thing and then starts for 3 or 4 years, he wins that trade. You know what I'm saying? That so it's like I just don't know how to word it
Yeah.
all the way exactly, but it's like you got to buy these quarterbacks. But
And
I
when
think since we were in the rookie draft and he went at the 205, it's just we're like, damn, a first round pick for that guy.
but you don't know where Noah's value was
Hey,
because you said in a previous podcast that you would have took Penix at the 111.
I would have taken him at the 111, but I would know that I ain't got to take that joker till about where you took him. You
Yeah.
can trade back and
But everybody has a different ranking. So like
exactly.
you could say, oh, it's stupid like before the draft to trade a first for the 205. That's just stupid. But when you don't know where Michael Penix was ranked in his rankings. So he might have been at the 110. So he traded a 25 first, a 210, and a third to get to the 110 to get a quarterback that he liked. So, I mean, shoot, I was happy to accept it. I don't really have any
I
quarterback
bet.
needs. I don't have
I
no
bet
QB
you was
needs.
happy to accept it. I mean,
Yeah.
shit.
I
I
didn't,
mean,
I didn't have
colluding
to think,
there.
didn't have to think about it for long. Still got my guy that I was going to draft
Hey,
anyway. So
I hear you, and honestly, I ain't even mad at Noah Dick Blow. Like I know the crew saw that and was like, "Good lord," but they gonna have a strong reaction no matter what. Like Chris makes a trade and he gets hated on every trade, so I already know they was gonna say something. But NDB, shout out to you. You got Kirk Cousins on your team. It kind of makes sense to me. Like you know, it is what it is. Like I'm not even gonna hate. I think Michael Penix is one of the most interesting conversations to even have these days right now because people don't know what to think about him. You got everybody in the world hating on him, and then you got that retarded motherfucker named Matt Hammond out here talking about yay whoop de doo. I love Michael Penix. So
and
it's just
guess what?
go ahead.
I would have took him super early had he went to the Patriots.
And guess what? When Michael Penix in 2 years in 2026, if he's going to be starting, you can trade him for a first and get it back.
Right. Heck, you'll be able to trade him for more than that. Easy when he's starting. So
I was going to take him. I didn't need him, but I was going to take him just for the value of it. But I took the receiver that I wanted anyway at the 210 because nobody wants him. Oh, Roman Wilson.
oh man, I kind
I
of like
was gonna
Roman.
think. I was telling old Matt. I was like, it was when I went to pick right before you in the second. I was like, I think my picks was between Troy Franklin and Roman Wilson because I was like, the Pittsburgh just be hitting on these receivers, dude. And I was like, I don't know, man. And I just ended up going with Franklin
I like
instead.
Troy Franklin too, though.
I know I would have got a message talking about what the fuck, bro.
Crab
What
man, what?
if you took him?
Crab man, let's go ahead and toss us another one out there, man. I know we got more. I like the Penix discussions, man. I'm telling you, man, that is one conversation that nobody is loving the Penix situation. So I hope NDB is closer to my side. If it's lonely on this island, you know what I'm saying. It's good to have company. You know what I mean, Crab man.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, like you said, I didn't hesitate to accept that trade. I mean, it's just obvious for me. I didn't need quarterback help.
Yeah.
So I'm fine doing it, and I'm not trying to wait 2 to 3 years on waiting for a quarterback to break out. But moving on to the running backs, there's only two that I even want to talk about.
Right.
I got Jonathan Brooks ranked at RB16 right now. I traded Chris James, or he gave me James Cook for the 110, and I feel like that's around where Jonathan Brooks is getting drafted. So in my rankings, I got James Cook at 14, DeAndre Swift, and then Jonathan Brooks at 16, in between Swift and David Montgomery. So I'm just the only reason I'm a little down on Jonathan Brooks is because of Chris's shitty team. But I'm gonna let y'all talk about it for a minute, and I'm gonna go pee.
All right, Chris, I'll go ahead and start because listen, man. Who was higher on Miles Sanders last year than I was, and I don't even like Miles Sanders. I don't even think Miles Sanders is that good. I was like, damn, the situation is just like ideal. This dude's with the Panthers. This dude Bryce Young is a rookie. He's gonna want to throw it to the running back and the tight end. He just got done playing with Jahmyr Gibbs, dumping it off like crazy. Man, Jonathan Brooks, round 2 draft capital. I think Miles Sanders could possibly be traded or something. I don't really even see him as a factor, and I got him on my team, and I didn't have to pay too much for him. I got him from David, so But the thing is if I was willing to buy into Miles Sanders last year, you for damn sure know I'm willing to buy into Jonathan Brooks. I think 16 seems kind of low. I don't know what Craftman's rankings. I know he's out there urinating right now. When he comes back, I would like to know who he has, Jonathan Brooks, in
Yeah, I
front of
want to
Jonathan
know who
Brooks.
he's got in front of him.
Because 16 seems low, because I'm going to be real, Chris. I'm all in on some Jonathan Brooks. I wanted to take him. You know, snipe my ass again in that rookie draft, so I ain't got no shares of Jonathan Brooks. Shout out to my brother, Panthers fan. He went and got him some Jonathan Brooks. All in, bro. I'm all in on Jonathan Brooks. I would love to take Jonathan Brooks right now. I would imagine when I do mine, I would imagine he's in my top 12.
See, I don't know about that. I could probably put him like on the cusp out there, like 13, 14. We'll have to, when Crabman gets back in, and figure out these guys he's got ahead of him so we can go through and think about it. But yeah, I mean, I like to pick. What makes me more think about Miles Sanders is, I mean, they just started Rashad Penny too. So like, why the hell are we signing all these running backs? Like, what's going on? Like, I mean, I feel like we could easily trade Miles Sanders at this point and get something for him. But I mean, I think the situation is going to be good. The offensive line's a little bit better, and honestly, I feel like if Bryce Young would have dumped it off more last year, we probably would have been a little bit better off.
See,
But he didn't really dump it off. But he was running for his life.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think if there was more of a structure and more of a that the dude had a little bit of time every now and then, like the O-line.
If he
That's what
had
I'm
more than
saying.
2 seconds.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even want to hate on. I told you I was been telling the kid like I don't even want to hate on Bryce Young, and I don't even want to hate on Jonathan Mingo personally. I can't say they're bad players because the whole situation was shitty as fuck last year. Like that, there was no way they were going to succeed. A head coach leaving halfway through the season. Honestly, their owner pulling some Jerry Jones shit out there. Kraft, man, I'm glad that you're back. We just want to know who you have in front of Jonathan Brooks.
DeAndre Swift. That's right ahead of him. James Cook, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Rachaad White, Saquon Barkley.
Damn, so Kenneth Walker's dropped like ridiculous for you.
I can't even believe you brought his name up. Like he damn sure better be in front of
that
Jonathan
dude.
Brooks.
I remember you said he might be the RB1. Kenneth Walker.
Might have been me, Chris. Might have been me.
I thought it was correct.
That was before Zach Charbonnet came. That was like at the beginning, before the NFL draft last season.
Y'all see why these rankings? Yeah, let me kind of explode y'all's minds a little bit here. Y'all see how these rankings don't matter worth the fuck after 1 year?
Yeah, hold on, Chris. I'm glad you said that because when I do my dynasty rankings, running back and tight end, that's almost a year-to-year thing to me right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it gets really.
That's why
really tough.
Way back when, that I was like, I could give you an argument right now that in Dynasty, Christian McCaffrey at 28 years old is the number 1 Dynasty running back. Like, I can give you arguments on that. Like, that's why
I wouldn't be mad at you.
I mean that's why running backs are the toughest to rank because it's more it's more about if you're competing or rebuilding more than any other position. Like if you're rebuilding, you want a guy like a Jonathan Brooks. If you're going for it, you want your guys like Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, David.
I'm going for it, and you know what? I got me some Jonathan Brooks.
But
I also got Josh Jacobs and Travis Etienne. So I mean,
like that. What Crapman's saying is, I would say he's right, but it's also crazy with the running back. Like, and my brother, pretty much 1 year punted, right? He's going for it this year. His running backs are Jahmyr Gibbs and Rachaad White. Man, he was happy to bring Jonathan Brooks on board. You know what I'm saying? As another flex play backup. I don't even know what to say about running backs because all these it seems like I'm gonna have to listen to some more podcasts, but it does seem like a rookie running back does do good every single year.
And I don't think Chuba Hubbard's no bitch either. So I don't think with Jonathan Brooks coming off an ACL injury, I don't think he's getting all the work. I think he's better, but Chuba's a decent, RB2 behind him. He's not bad. So, I mean, it's just tough. Like with Brooks, I don't think he's like an extraordinary talent. He was one of the better running backs in this class.
Right.
But I mean, you like Trey Benson more anyway. Before the draft started,
I was definitely a Trey Benson guy. And you know what? He did get round 2 draft capital, so I'm still a Benson guy. I like James Conner too, though. Like I wouldn't even shy away from buying James Conner. If old Chris Schreiber didn't have him, I would probably have a share of James Conner right now. But
I sold him in one league. I sold him for all my first that I got.
That's hard with like guys like James Connors. I'm sitting here ranking like these veteran running backs like they have 1 year left,
Right.
and it's like who's going to score more in redraft, because that's all that matters if you really only think they got 1 year left. So you got to put like Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, James Conner all in a boat where it's like who's going to score more this year. So that's how I ranked them. Is
Yeah.
because I really do. I only think James Conner got 1 year left.
Yeah, he does. This is his last year on this deal.
Alvin Kamara, he's another guy. It's like who's going to score more this season? So the veterans, and that's why I said it's like super hard when you're doing a startup. Like, which direction are you going? Do you want your Derrick Henrys, or do you want to take a shot at like a Javonte Williams or like a Kendre Miller, or one of these rookies, Trey Benson or something like that? Like, if you're doing a startup, you taking Trey Benson, you taking Derrick Henry.
Oh, I'm taking Trey Benson.
And that's crazy because the last episode I asked Chris if he would trade Connor for Benson, and he said he wouldn't because he's competing. And I would much rather, if I thought they only have 1 year left, I'd take Derrick Henry over James Conner.
Yeah.
But what throws me out, if Derrick Henry was still with the Titans, I probably would. But now that I like the situation he's in with the Ravens, but I got to see this man run out of the shotgun before I'm just all in again on Derrick Henry, because, as we say, it just looks like this dude's not slowing down. Last year he had a little bit of a slowdown, but he's in a way better offense this year. I mean, they can do some crazy shit over there in Baltimore.
You're going to take James Conner over Derrick Henry in redraft?
In a redraft?
Yeah.
I mean, why would I? Okay, so here's the thing. Why would I take Derrick Henry in what are you thinking? Probably like the fourth and the fifth round?
I'm saying, though, like in Dynasty rankings, if you only think they got 1 year left, take the guy that's going to score more points this year.
Yeah, but I mean, that's finicky because James Conner can just hit that dude, just goes the fuck off. I mean, I set him last year against the Cowboys, who had the number one defense in the NFL at that time. These dudes was just destroying them. James Conner made them look like they was playing GC football out there, dude. That dude was going off.
The Ravens didn't draft a running back till late.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much Derrick Henry's backfield at this point.
I don't think you can go wrong getting Derrick Henry. I mean, especially in a redraft, I could grab him. For sure, I would. I mean, Trey Benson would only be on my radar in a redraft, or like fucking if somebody gets hurt. Like if I'm just picking up somebody's handcuff.
Some best ball. I know. I'm about to hop into some best ball ADP, and I don't know these ADPs a little bit because when Chris was, talking about Derrick Henry and James Conner, I really would like to just see some ADPs. But people are getting into best ball right now. I know me and Crabman, we'll hop into some here. I'm gonna at least wait till some. I don't know. Some people are just too addicted to that shit. I'm gonna at least wait till some schedules get popped out or something.
I just think that the Cardinals, these other receivers that they've taken have been pretty high too. Like they've taken not a receiver, running back. They've taken a running back in the draft like each year in like the second, haven't they? Like second or third round.
Well,
and
I know for sure
these dudes
Trey
are
Benson.
dudes are just sitting behind.
Yeah.
James Conner, because James Conner, I mean, he gets hurt a lot, but I mean, when he's playing,
he's consistent. I love James Conner, but I'm just trying to make the argument of, like, if you're in your startup and you're talking about these veterans, like the Nick Chubb, James Conner, Kamara, Derrick Henry, why not just take the guy that's going to score more this season? Because you have no idea what's happening after this year. Like, no clue.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm telling you, man, we could do a whole episode just talking about the strategy on running backs, and we might just need to do it one day because it's just tough as fuck. I done got to the point where, like I've seen in one of our leagues, Zamil, he's put like Brees Hall on the block and stuff like that. Man, I ain't even considering going and paying for a running back because the times I have gone out and paid for a running back, it bites me in the ass every single time. So
Yeah.
that's why it's like it's just such a tough position to deal with. It's so volatile. It's like some damn
I just sold
cryptocurrency.
Christian McCaffrey at what I consider really good, like decent value. Like I got another running back, and then I got the one at 4. Like I feel like if I waited another year, I definitely wouldn't be getting that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing about these running backs is like you can at one day some point get like 2 firsts or a good running back and at a first, and then something go wrong, and the next day you can't even get a second. Like look at Austin Eckler. Like no way I'd give you a second round pick for Austin Eckler right now. Now I'm just being honest. I know there's probably somebody out there that would, but
He's so far down on my rankings. It's crazy. Like I'd much rather have Brian Robinson in that backfield than Austin.
man, crap, man. We was in redraft, Average Joe's, and Noah Dick Blower did that one trade, and he got Austin Eckler, and the other guy got it seemed like pennies or whatever. And you know
It is.
what? I always talk about don't overreact to dynasty trades. This was redraft. Now I'm saying you can't overreact to redraft trades because you never know what the hell's gonna happen. Like that man Eckler, Noah Dick Blower lost that trade. It looked like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was like Eckler for Brian Robinson and Devin Singletary or something.
It was crazy. So yeah, well, on the surface, you're like, man, I'm about to just walk out this league, man. It's some bullshit. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, damn, that man Noah Dick Blow just lost that trade. I can't even believe it.
Yeah,
Oh man,
I'm telling you, running backs it's the rankings are so finicky because it's really just what you're planning on building your team.
right?
Your team because young running backs like Kendre Miller, for instance.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
what
I would,
do you do with him? You know,
man. Crap, man. I'm glad you said. I mean, I would love to go out and get me some Kendrick Miller, and we saw him at week 18, or just 1 week, and he looked good. But let's just be honest. Alvin Kamara's still there. Jamal Williams is there. The dude's in the middle of a 3-year deal. So it's like,
yeah,
what the fuck? I'm out. Like, am I gonna go pay? Like, I'll just be honest. I can't throw a second and go get Kendra Miller. But am
yeah,
I really gonna go throw a first out there and go get Kendra Miller for what? To maybe be the third string in that offense? Like,
yeah.
no
Same
way.
same with like Tajay Spears. I mean, Kendre Miller. I got Aaron Jones ranked one spot ahead of Kendre because I know he's going to get points. I don't know what Kendre Miller's going to do, but if you're building your team a little younger, definitely draft Kendre Miller above Aaron Jones. I mean, that's kind of obvious.
Right. Just a tough. We're gonna, you know what, crap, man. We in the middle of the summer, we're gonna do a whole episode on the strategy of running backs, and we're gonna just chop it
There
up
is,
like this,
yeah, and I just think the strategy is just based on
year to
what
year.
direction you're headed, pretty much. Because we've been saying year after year that these guys that have been at the top for forever is going to drop off eventually, but there hasn't really been a resurgence of
No,
young running backs. I mean, you got your, Brees, Bijan, Gibbs, them three,
right.
Kyron maybe, and then after that. But shoot, I want to talk about a running back a little bit on my Tank Dell side, where I got him ranked a little higher than everybody else probably. I got Isaiah Pacheco at RB8 in
Ooh,
Dynasty.
my home league say what? Going back to back on their ass. All right, go ahead, crap. I'm sorry.
So he is between Travis Etienne and Devon Achane for me at RB8 in Dynasty. 2 years left on his rookie deal. And I've been saying about Xavier Worthy the whole time. I think he's better for Isaiah Pacheco than anybody they could have drafted. They're just going to stick in that 2 deep safeties, and Isaiah Pacheco is going to run wild this year. So I want to know what you got to think about that.
Listen, man, I seen somebody say because Pacheco, I'm telling you, he was heating up for me on that playoff run, and the thing, and I know I'm a little bit biased on Pacheco a little bit because I've had him for a couple years, and the dude's been so, even when he plays, and I just think he's so consistent. But if you go back and watch, the Chiefs were getting him involved in the passing game a little bit too. I think we should be super high on Pacheco going in this year, going for the 3-peat. I mean, Pacheco to the moon. Damn it! I
They
just
didn't draft nobody either.
didn't draft nobody again. Pacheco is just to the moon. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I wish I could go get Pacheco in Doo Dynasty. I see old Fluxville got him. Champion. He's a champ and got Pacheco. I'm a champ and got Pacheco. Pacheco's a guy to have. I'm just being honest. I would love to have Pacheco. And you got him in between who? A-Chain and who?
ETN's ahead of him at 7, and then Pacheco, then Achane at 9.
Oh, man.
A lot of people ain't going to like that. They want Achane above Pacheco for sure.
I think even I would want A-Chain over Pacheco. Maybe. That's tough, Kraft, man. That one's tough. Who's after that? Go one more.
Saquon, then Rachaad White.
Oh, man. Them running backs ain't no joke, man. I bet you were just sitting there banging your head on the window in that car on the way home, man. I wouldn't know what to do.
Let's see how many eraser marks or like scratched out stuff you got on there. Like, oh man.
What do you think about the rankings, Chris? So
I like them. I mean, I would probably take them in that order right there, just because Pacheco's proven, like we talked about, that we don't have no draft capital and stuff like that. But the kid's playing lights out, man. I mean, hell, he's winning you fantasy championships at this point as a 7th-round pick. And HN, I like HN, and I like where you got him because I mean that's just saying like he's on the brink. He's gonna crack your top 10, you know. So like he's gonna be on the brink of that big breakout. He can't sustain what he did last year, you know, for a long time. But if he could get more consistent, if we could see Mostert move out of there, I think that we could see like HN being up there is pretty good.
Yeah,
you know,
I think.
Go ahead, Kraft.
No, go ahead, Matt. You good?
I was just kind of backtracking to we were talking about strategy, and I was just thinking like, I just won a championship, and I'm going into the next year, and my 2 main running backs are literally Pacheco, a 7th-round pick, and Jaylen Warren, who's undrafted.
Crazy as hell, ain't it?
Yeah, it don't make no sense. But go ahead,
And
Kraft.
I was going to say the guy, I said Saquon and Rachaad White after him. Rachaad White was one of the toughest running backs to rank for me because it's like you're kind of hanging on by a thread every single offseason. Whether they bring somebody in, they brought in Bucky Irving, which we have already said that we're not really scared of at all. And Rachaad White is you don't know how many years he's really got, but as a pass catcher back, he's got a role in this league. That's all I got to say.
I'm like, as a coach, even like as a coach of the kid or like watching the kid, like I wouldn't be worried about it. He's doing what he needs to do out there.
I got a rant.
I don't think he's in trouble.
Crap, man. I got a rant, bro. I have to rant. My man, Rachaad White, dude. What year are we going in? We going into year 3 with Rachaad White?
Yeah.
And he clearly falls in this category of players that the fantasy community hates. I talk about it every year. I probably bring it up every other episode, damn it, where I talk about like that people always want to hate on Rachaad White, and they always want to hate on Hollywood and Kyler, but then they'll go out there and love Jerry Jeudy, and they'll love Cam Akers, you know what I'm saying? Year after year after year. I think the fantasy community should just accept the fact that Rachaad White is just a pretty good football player, you know what I'm saying? And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers aren't asking him to go out there and be a bell cow. What the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are asking Rachaad White to do is good for fantasy football. So I saw your boy old FF Snoog on Twitter talking about he's flipping Rachaad White for Joe Mixon or DeAndre Swift. And I had to say, I'm just thinking, get the fuck out of here with that dumbass shit. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. The man was like a running back 4 last year. I think people should just accept that the man is good. He's good at football, and the man is good for what Tampa Bay asked him to do, which means he's good for fantasy football. Ain't no way I'm walking into the season thinking, man, I need to trade my Rachaad White shares for Joe Mixon. That's just the dumbest shit ever. And then even this year, people's like, well, I'm thinking his workload is going to get cut into Bucky Irving. Like, man, y'all motherfuckers was saying the same shit about Sean Tucker, and the dude wasn't even drafted last year. Like, The Rachaad White hate is just gone way out of way out of hand. Every year they're like, they're gonna replace him. They're gonna replace him. And Tampa Bay doesn't replace him. They're not going to replace him. Everybody, maybe next year we'll go run this back again. Bucky Irvin ain't cutting into it that much. He might go
No,
out there and get a carry every now and then. But Rachaad White's
no.
going to go out there and catch the ball, and he's going to be good for your PPR leagues. Everybody out there need to sit your ass down about Rachaad White. In fact, I would go buy Rachaad White if everybody's thinking this and that. And, I mean, he was like the running back 4 last year, crap. And we're talking about selling him for Joe Mixon? Are you out your fucking mind? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, man. Shout out to that. The thing is that FS New, not even on his radar. That dude ain't ever gonna see this. Ain't gonna see my comment or anything. But it's just like, come on, bro. That's just dumb. Don't be giving people advice where I'm gonna give up a guy who finished number 4 for old man Mixon, who really just got saved by a random ass contract from a competing team, or DeAndre Swift, who's on his like 3rd or 4th team. That's just fucking ridiculous. That's my rant for tonight.
I love it too, man. If we go back to last year, you were the highest on Rachaad White last year, and everything kind of panned out the way you said it would. I don't think you expected RB4.
No,
but
no.
I think from like Twitter side and Snoog, and he does make some good content. Shout out, but I think everybody's trying to compare it to the Najee Harris situation where it was like the yards per carry's down.
Right.
He's not efficient. But you know what? We don't care about efficiency.
Hey.
We care about fantasy points. So that's the way I look at it. And he's young, and he did it. Like you said, he's a good player. Like, Tampa Bay did not have the best offensive line last year. And he was the best receiving back out of anybody in the NFL. If you go and look at his receiving numbers, absolutely ridiculous. I don't have him in front of my face, but he pretty much had like 60 receptions on like 65 targets. I mean, he caught everything and gained yards out of it. So
And
he really had like Christian McCaffrey numbers in receiving for a running back, honestly.
and what you said about the Najee situation, like, and I was down on the Najee situation after year 1. And the thing is like, I really don't even care that he's inefficient as a running back or whatever. What I cared about was Big Ben was gone. And Big Ben had thrown the ball to Najee 100 million times or whatever. And I just knew that when Big Ben left, I just knew things were going to change. So I was down on Najee. I could, as far as fantasy goes, I could have cared less that Najee's efficiency was down or whatever. But but if Big Ben would have came back for another year, I would have been like, fuck that efficiency of his carries. The dude's gonna get 60 targets again and do his. I mean, Najee had that one game where he had like 13 targets. Damn it, that's just ridiculous.
yeah, and I got Rachaad White's targets and receptions in front of me now. He had 70 targets and 64 receptions. That's like some Steph Curry free throw type shit right there. I mean, like 90% receptions. I mean, 500 and something receiving yards. He's just reliable, is all I can say. And if the offensive line gets better, it's kind of one of them eye test things. When you watch the Buccaneers, it's like, this guy's good. And that's the same way I think about like Pacheco and Kenneth Walker. Like Kenneth Walker, he might have lost some work to people thought he was going to lose some work to Charbonnet, but when you watch him play, it's like Kenneth Walker's so much better than this guy. It doesn't even matter.
Right. So, that's my Rachaad White.
Bucky Irving.
Yeah,
come on.
Bucky. I mean, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. Bucky Irving. Yeah, and I ain't even saying Bucky Irving can't get some carries. Like, he might get some carries and stuff, but, I mean, and nothing changes. Baker Mayfield's there, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. The only thing changes is the offensive coordinator. And which is a big deal, but I'm just saying, I ain't sitting there, but I'm just saying, this man Baker Mayfield's career was dead. He's going to go back to the well and do what he did to have success. This man, Rachaad White's getting the rock. So everybody just, man, golly, we need to do that crew versus Twitter shit because we would be attacking. I would just definitely be snapping on this one, bro. I just don't understand. Every year they want this man to get replaced. But it's like the dude, he had day 2 draft capital. It ain't like like to me, it would have been a better argument for Pacheco. The dude's a 7th-round draft pick. I can see you saying he's gonna get replaced year after year, but Rachaad White, I mean, get the fuck out of here. That shit don't make no damn sense.
So where you at with Rachaad White? And according to rankings, do you think where I got him is correct, or would you move him up?
Where
Like
you got him at, crap?
Saquon Barkley.
I know for a fact I had him at 14 last year, which was just slightly outside the top 12. I would,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably want Saquon. The thing is, though, is the reason why I say Saquon is because I just kind of believe that they're going to give Saquon a little more goal line work than just tush pushing it all the time. You just got Saquon. I'm just that guy who just believes they're going to give the ball to Saquon every now and then on the goal line. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just going to tush push it every single time. But, maybe I would probably take Saquon over Rachaad White, but it's still tough.
What about Achane?
Man, I'd take Rachaad White. Fuck it. Give me Rachaad.
Pacheco?
Man, give me Rachaad, man. Give it to me, baby. Let's go. I'm taking Rachaad White over a lot of folks. That's tough though, because I do like Pacheco. Give me another one, Kraft, man. Go up one more.
ETN?
Ah, fuck it. I want ETN. Fuck that shit.
Kyron Williams?
I want Kyron. The Blake Corum don't scare me that much.
So we're pretty close. Close. I would say you're the highest. Definitely higher than what everybody else is saying. Chris hadn't spoken on Rachaad White.
I mean, I think Rachaad White's in a good spot. I always think people are crazy when they're talking about they're going to replace this kid. He's doing what he needs to do. The offensive line ain't always been the best, but he's doing what he needs to do. And he's producing in fantasy. Like, it's not terrible at all.
And this is the reason why Jonathan Brooks is down so low when y'all thought he was just buried in my rankings. Jonathan Brooks.
I just wanted to know who you had right there in front of him.
Josh Jacobs is probably the scariest of all of them that I got above Brooks. Josh Jacobs could be way up there or he could be buried. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I would do with Josh Jacobs. He might be. I have him ranked at 13, but I would be very hesitant to hit that draft button when Josh Jacobs is right there.
Yeah,
James Cook or something like that. It'd be tough to take Jacobs because of the contract situation he's got with Green Bay. It's kind of like a prove it deal, and they just drafted another running back. I mean, we've seen it before with Green Bay. They he'll play the best player eventually. What do you think, Matt?
We talk about Josh Jacobs?
Yeah.
Listen, man, I like Josh Jacobs, but the reason why I went and because I got Marshawn Lloyd in 2 leagues, and because he was super cheap. And the thing is like when I'm mainly the only one on Twitter right now, so I see a lot of fantasy football takes from all these people, and everybody just hated the Marshawn Lloyd landing spot, and I'm just thinking, why? I mean, Josh Jacobs, if we're just being objective, he really wasn't even that good last year, and there was some factors to it.
He was worse than Rachaad White.
And Josh Jacobs, he didn't show up to camp and all that stuff. And that does play a fact. So I'm gonna sit here and be objective about it. But he really wasn't that good. And then now he comes to the Packers, and everybody's looking at his contract. Now, if you look at his contract, this thing for real could be a 1-year, $14 million deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the Packers want to get rid of Josh Jacobs after year 1, they can get rid of Josh Jacobs after year 1. You know what I'm saying? So Marshawn Lloyd, he still has day 2 draft capital. If you watch the film, he was a pretty good player, if we're just being honest. And A.J. Dillon's just ass. And I know A.J. Dillon's had his stretches where he was good. Heck, there was a time on the podcast at the end of a playoff run where I was like, this dude, A.J. Dillon, at the end of the year is a must start. But the dude, A.J. Dillon, is really not that good. I'll go out there and take Marshawn Lloyd all day. For the cheap. If you're just taking a shot.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Josh Jacobs is scary, but if he comes out and performs year 1, it's kind of like, oh man, you got you a diamond in the rough. Right. But I watched a lot of Josh Jacobs last year. I watched some Raiders games. unfortunately. But he was definitely a different running back than he was the year before. Their run blocking was not that bad. If you go to PFF and look at their offensive line, that's kind of middle of the pack.
Xavier White was good.
I just remember watching him, and he was shaking his head sometimes at himself, like he just could not get in a rhythm, or he just knew he was missing holes and not breaking tackles. Like he seemed frustrated, and I really do think that with him, it was the holdout situation. He might have got a little out of shape, so
Hey,
hopefully he comes in shape this year and is ready to roll like he was in 2022, I guess.
Hey, Craft Man, I know I listen to a ton of podcasts, big and small. But the footballers, the biggest one of them all, they were calling him Fat Thor.
He was out of shape, man.
He
They used it as
was.
a joke, but he was. Like when I watched them games, not explosive, didn't break tackles. Like he was bad. Like he
Yeah.
was definitely just bad. So if he continues to just be bad, and everybody else is outproducing him, then there's definitely a way he could lose his job. But I'm kind of siding on the side that he comes back to his old self a little bit. That's why I got him
Yeah.
ranked so high.
Hey, and I ain't even gonna hate on it because the truth is the Packers are an ascending offense, and Josh Jacobs was sitting there in Las Vegas last year that Packers are gonna be scoring a lot more points than what Vegas, I guess theoretically, than what Vegas was doing last year. I think the Packers will be good, and I think Josh Jacobs will be just fine. But that don't mean I ain't gonna go on the cheap and go get that backup. You know what I'm saying?
And we're gonna run the ball a lot. So
Yeah.
that's one thing you can count on with the Packers. We're gonna focus on the running game. We're not gonna be like the Chargers of the past and just be tossing the ball around all game. Like we're like the Kyle Shanahan tree and the Sean McVay tree. We know that running the ball opens up everything for everybody else.
What else you got for us, Kraft man? You got anything else for us, man?
Hell yeah, I got all
Toss,
kinds of shit.
toss it on out then. We'll just drop everybody like a 2-hour episode. It is what it is. I don't even know how long we've been on. Go ahead, Kraft man. Toss us another one.
Zamir White.
Listen, man, this is my true opinion on Xavier White. I think Xavier White is good, and man, this dude for real was a league winner for me last year, Kraft man. I took Xavier White. That's what I'm saying, man. I know the crew they like to hate on me a little bit, and I get it. I talk a lot of shit, so I would hate on me too. But the truth is, I took Xavier White off my taxi in playoff time and put him in my lineup and won a championship. And my advice, or I'm not even gonna say advice. What I did this year is I took Xavier White and I just traded him for any kind of long term value that I could get because I don't know what Xavier White was. I don't know what Xavier White's gonna do. I think Xavier White in redraft next year is probably a steal. I bet his ADP is not that high, crap man. I don't even know. I'm just spitball. I'm just saying shit off the top of my head. But as dynasty wise, if I could trade Xavier White for any kind of long term value, I went and traded him for Christian Kirk. I'm not saying Christian Kirk is just a big baller. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's just a top notch this and that. But I'm saying at least I know Christian Kirk's going to be around for a little while. I know that running back position is a little volatile. Xavier White is a 4th-round draft pick, and I'm not saying. I'm just saying these guys can get replaced just like that. It could be easy. He's a winner in the draft season. He's a winner. I traded him and Javante. They're both winners in this draft season. So as far as Xavier White goes, what I would say is if I could go trade him and get some long-term value. I'm not saying you got to get a stud. I'm not saying you got to get this and get that. If I could just get anything where I know that would last past 1 year, I say you might as well do it because you were getting Xavier White in your 3rd and your 4th round in your rookie drafts. Who knows? I mean, that's just like it's just like playing the stock market. You just took a guy that had no use. You got 3 weeks of good production. Just trade him and go get you something where you know that something would last. What do you say, Crap Man?
I mean, I'm on the side with you where I think it's probably a good idea to sell. I mean, I got him ranked at RB27. He's behind Javante Williams, in between Javante and Nick Chubb, James Conner. I mean, if you're a competing team, go ahead and trade Xavier White for James Conner or something like that. And if you are a rebuilding team, go get Trey Benson. Go get somebody like that. Go get Kendre Miller plus, Tyjae Spears plus, because I don't know. I see a lot of similarities between Xavier White and Alexander Madison last year. I know a lot of people have said it, but it's kind of hard not to find the correlation between the two. They were a backup for a reason. They didn't get on the field for a reason. I mean, everybody, with even Tony Pollard was super explosive behind Ezekiel Elliott. But when it's their time to shine, I just don't know if it's like, and Xavier White don't have a whole lot of pass catching chops. But the opportunity is there this year.
Right.
But I think it could only be this year.
And it's like you said, Crab Man, and I ain't hating on Xavier White because when I do some best ball, and I do some redraft, like, he's gonna be on my radar. There's no doubt about it. But as far as just like, sometimes, like, I don't know if this is just a dumb thing to say, but sometimes I look at these players and I'm just like, man, dang, I just got a free asset. Like, this was a dude that was sitting on my taxi. I could not get nothing. I would never get anything for him. Then out of nowhere, his value's up, and it's like, damn, I can get something for him.
Yeah.
I think you should just take the opportunity and just be like, get rid of them and go get you something a little more stable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you got to be a little with running backs. If it's like a 3 or 4 game stretch, you can definitely be more flexible trading them than a rookie receiver who was drafted in the 5th round, like a Stephon Diggs who got drafted that late, Puka Nacua. These guys, if they show out, you might want to be a little bit more cautious, shipping them off. But when it's a running back who just had like a 3 or 4 game stretch, that happens all the time. We've been playing fantasy for how long? I've been playing at least for 11, 12 years, and
I've been playing
there are
for
definitely
years.
running backs. Yeah, there are definitely running backs who have spurts who just go off, and then you hear nothing from them for the rest of their career.
Heck, crap, man! I was playing back in the days when I used to not even care about fantasy. I'd do the draft and wouldn't even set my lineup for a whole year.
That's how long it's been, and now we're doing a fantasy podcast.
Now look at me, I'm hooked on it, man. I'm like a crackhead for this shit, man. Man, so yeah, man, that's my take on Xavier White. I like Xavier White. I honestly think Xavier White's pretty damn good. I'm down here with a bunch of Georgia fans, so if I could ship Xavier White, that's all day. That's easy. Like, these guys will definitely take a Xavier White. You know what I mean? So, spit me another one, Kraft, man. I'm rolling tonight. You got any more for me?
Shit, I'm good, man. We done covered QBs and running backs. Let's get back on the receivers in this rookie draft. Kind of figure out what these guys slot in, because it does get a little tough right here, and I would be remiss if I didn't go down. We pretty much mentioned, the Trey Bensons, Jonathan Brooks, all the rookie, like the big rookie draft guys, and where they slot in compared to others. So, I'm gonna speak for myself because I know I'm alone on this boat. Ladd McConkey, I got slotted in as the wide receiver 23, in between T. Higgins and Jordan Addison. DK Metcalf.
Crap, man, real quick. I want to interrupt you. If you don't mind, on this podcast, can we call him McConkey?
McConkey. There's an H in between the C and the O.
McConkey, and for all those people back in the day, it's because he's a white cracker, and I just want to shout out to my crackers. I know Chris over there hitting a blunt, laughing his ass off right now. All right, go ahead, Kraft. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Noah said that one time, got the whole podcast canceled. But Ladd McConkey, I know Chris got a little something to say about this, because I got him above Xavier Worthy.
Oh, man.
Oh, bro.
And he's, like I said, he's behind DJ Moore, T. Higgins, and right before Jordan Addison. So that's where I got him slotted.
At least you got him ahead. At least you got him behind T. Higgins. I feel like you got some disrespectful T. Where's T? What number's T. Higgins? I feel like you got some disrespectful T. Higgins rankings if Ladd McConkey's over there by T. Higgins.
Before I give you my rankings of T. Higgins, I'm gonna tell you the guys above him: Michael Pittman,
Nope.
Yeah.
Rasheed Rice,
Ooh, man.
Nope.
He's a conversation to have.
Nico Collins.
Oh man, I listen, man, crap, man, listen, and I
I'm
like
taking
it.
T. Higgins.
Chris, go ahead and tee off. You want to tee off for a little bit on McConkey?
I just, I
McConkey.
like McConkey, but I mean, I would just take Higgins, man. That dude could play. I'm telling, like, he just needs to be the wide receiver one somewhere. He needs to go somewhere where he's not with another dude like Jamar Chase, so that
I
he can
got
just
T.
ball
Higgins.
out.
I do have T. Higgins above McConkey.
I know you did. I was
Oh
just saying. I
man,
thought we were like,
I got him above, but just one spot. I mean, if it was my draft though, I'd take McConkey.
I'm just saying, like in my thing, I don't got McConkey down there even close to T. Higgins.
man, dude,
Well,
I know, crab man can't see me, man, but every time y'all say McConkey, man, I'm just rolling.
He's just dying. That's why
I just
I be
can't
laughing because I just see Matt take fucking.
I just can't deal with it, man. McConkey, man. If we was like a big podcast, we'd be canceled on the fly, man. They'd be like, get rid of these motherfuckers. All right, go ahead, Kraft. I'm sorry, man.
hey, you ain't kidding. But we like the small little slot receivers, man.
We
to
don't
be
have many white boys to celebrate to. Like in the NBA, we ain't got shit. We got Caitlin Clark now. That's all we got, man.
Bro,
I'm definitely claiming McConkey.
and I
if
tell you
we
one thing
if
that
we
the other
didn't get
podcasts
canceled
do.
after what you said about CD Lamb and all of them, we're good, bro. We're good.
I tell you what the other podcasts do to make it around to like slide around everything is they're like I compare Ladd McConkey to Julian Edelman and Wes Welker. That's who I like. But when I compared them to somebody, I was like, this is Zay Flowers, except for a better situation. So
I agree, though. I really do agree with that.
So that's really what I think. I think I
My
love Zay
phone
Flowers,
plugged in.
but he went to the Ravens.
Yeah.
I mean, Ladd McConkey went to the Chargers, and I don't care what anybody got to say about Greg Roman and how he loves to run the football, which he does. This is the NFL. Old Jim Harbaugh can't come in there and run the football like he did at Michigan. That shit ain't gonna work. You're gonna have to throw the ball, and who they gonna throw it
Bro,
to?
hold on. With what? Fifth pick, Joe Alt, he can't go out there and do that?
You can't run the ball like they did at Michigan. I'm sorry, but Justin Herbert's not Dan McCarthy stats at the end of the year. I mean, bottom line, Ladd McConkey is going to get 90-plus targets this season. I mean, you can go ahead and write that down for me.
Hey,
and in PPR, that's money.
Craftman could be dead on. He could be dead correct, but I'm just being real. McHonky, I love me some McHonky, but we are way out overvaluing this cracker. I'm just being honest. Go ahead and give me some more.
90 targets. I give him 63. I give him 63 chocolate.
Oh man, that man crap man. Look at him, man. Just in disgust. Crap man, give me some more behind me. Give me some more behind me. Listen, if C Swizzy hops off, he hops off, and his phone is dead, and we'll give a piece. Craft man, give me some more behind McHonky right now.
Some more? No, I just want to talk about Ladd McConkey. The rest of that. So can we just talk about?
I'm saying, who do you got ranked behind McHonky, real quick?
Jordan Addison, DK Metcalf, Xavier Worthy, Deebo Samuel.
Man, golly, you wait. Give me some more.
Zay Flowers, JSN, Keon Coleman, Jaden Reed.
All right, that's the tier he's in right there. That little JSN.
And then the veterans.
Zay Flowers.
Then the veteran tier after that: Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs.
Okay, yeah. What I said, the Ladd McHonky, and that tier, he's in that tier with the JSN, the Zay Flowers. He's in that tier for me. Those other guys,
just behind Deebo, then.
Yeah, Jordan Addison, Metcalf, Deebo, them dudes are definitely above McConkey. So I ain't gonna say you're way overvalued. I'm just gonna say slightly. But we are down here in the Georgia area, and we are talking to a guy.
You're gonna be eating your words at the end of this year.
Hey, and you know what? You know how we do on this podcast. I'll be the first one to say, "Hey, you win." You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna sit here and act like I was wrong. And the truth is damn, I see Swizzy on the mic now. And the truth is if
Yeah, my
McConkey,
phone died.
it's funny that now I can hear Chris so crispy and so clear. But the thing is though, the truth is if McConkey goes out and does what a lot of y'all think he's gonna do, I'm gonna give it up to him because he doesn't have competition. Like I am one of those weird motherfuckers out there that would be like, yo, I wouldn't mind buying QJ on the low. It's gotta be real low, you know what I'm saying? But
It's
I
simple
can't.
ABCs, Matt. It's A
Right,
B C 1 2 3. Keenan Allen left. Who's Keenan Allen? Lad McConkey.
man. It's
Go.
really it ain't ABCs. It's simple UGAs. That all y'all love the dogs, man. Overvaluing the fuck out of that honky.
What? Keenan Allen was a target hog. They lost their target hog. Who's the target hog now? It sure is not Quentin Johnson. I can promise you he's not a target hog. It's not Joshua
Hey,
Palmer.
and
It
with that
is like
said, in Kraftman's defense, Harbaugh ain't never had a quarterback like Justin Herbert. And the running backs that they got, it's not exact. They didn't exactly bring like a Saquon in there. They got Dobbins
Gus
and
Edwards.
and Gus Bus
Gus
and
Bus.
Kamani Vidal, however you pronounce his name. So
Vidal.
I won't sit here and say Kraftman is crazy. I think there's a world where Kraftman is 100% correct. I just think just slightly overvaluing.
And I got a little pushback on this for all the rookie drafters out there that are drafting. If you're playing in a full PPR league, this is Chris's Drake May take. Y'all are crazy as fuck for taking Xavier Worthy over Lad McConkey.
I
Oh
disagree.
man,
I
Chris,
disagree
go ahead, bro.
completely.
Go
Because
ahead,
I'm
Chris.
thinking Xavier Worthy could be Tyreek Hill if people knew who the fuck Tyreek Hill was when he came to the NFL.
Listen, I'm with Chris. I think I got Xavier Worthy as my wide receiver 4. I even put it out there. I love Xavier Worthy. I don't.
You should just join the Twitter folks, buddy.
Hey, here's the
Just
truth though, Kraft man.
hop on in with the crew.
Hey, here's the truth though, Mick Honky. I got him 5 right behind Xavier Worthy. So it's not like I'm sitting here just thinking you're
It's
crazy. Now I
still
think you're crazy.
disrespectful.
I'll put it like this. I think you're crazy for taking him at the 105. That was fucking absurd in Dynasty.
I
Shout out
know,
to the
because
Dynasty crew.
I feel like you could have got him way later. But you
I
got your
thought
guy.
it was great,
Like, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I would just take Worthy over McConkey.
Yeah. Can't hate on the Kraft man. I ain't even gonna hate on the Kraft man. Done taught me a lot about the fantasy world. So what he said, if he says it, I'm at least gonna think about it. You know what I'm saying? But Xavier Worthy,
I don't think
oh
this is
man.
I don't think this is a UGA thing. I mean, I do a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I overvalue.
I think we're having a little bit of racial bias go on right here. Is what I think.
Oh man, cancel that
Definitely,
Chris guy. Cancel that C Swizzy guy.
definitely not that. But I'm just whoever went to the Chargers, man. If Malik Neighbors had went to the Chargers, he'd be up there with Marvin Harrison to me.
I'd pick him over Marvin Harrison probably if he went to the Chargers.
That's what I'm saying. The Chargers, they're going to try to run the ball, and they will. But everybody's going to compare Greg Roman to run the ball with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Justin Herbert is not Lamar Jackson. I mean,
Agreed.
They're going to run a totally different offense. You cannot do that Michigan shit in the NFL. They're going to try to run the ball as much as they can. But Justin Herbert, if you look at his yards per attempt, he's a short pass guy. He likes to he don't throw the ball down the field much because he don't have weapons down the field. Keenan Allen wasn't there. I mean, Keenan Allen was running intermediate routes. Mike Williams was always hurt. They're going to throw the ball to Lad McConkey all day.
Hey, you know what? I ain't even gonna sit here. I'm gonna be honest. Craftman kind of swayed me a little bit over there. I'll be honest with you. I'll just sit here and stand pat on my stance. Like I would take a Debo over Lad McConkey.
I can't get on the Xavier Worthy thing, man. Y'all got to talk me into this. They got Travis Kelce there, just on a 2-year deal. They got Rashee Rice, who's going to run underneath routes.
All right.
Every team that plays against the Chiefs plays with 2 deep safeties and a deep shell. Xavier Worthy can run other routes. I totally agree with y'all that he's not just
not a John Ross.
deep threat. Yeah, but the way I was thinking about Isaiah Pacheco is like Xavier Worthy is perfect for him.
Yeah.
Nope, they got so much speed on that offense that Isaiah Pacheco is just going to have room to run. Xavier Worthy is great for the Chiefs, but I don't think he's going to be great for fantasy.
Okay, this is where I'll push back just a tad. They traded up to go get Xavier Worthy.
They got Hollywood too, who's the same player.
Who?
Hollywood.
Man, listen, I like me. I like Hollywood, and Hollywood is a fine player. As far as Kelsey goes, I got Kelsey on my championship squad. That dude that they're basically gonna do with Kelsey is they're gonna try to minimize his production and minimize his touches. So when it comes playoff time, when it comes into season time, they're gonna give Kelsey the rock then. As far as like Rachaad Rice goes, man, I don't even know what to think about that motherfucker. That dude's head is not. I mean, I don't know, man. He's gonna miss half the season.
But we're sitting here talking about Roma Doomsday being behind Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. In Kansas City, we're talking about a rookie. If you remember Rachaad Rice last year, he did not play until after the bye week, pretty much. He was like 50% of the snaps until the bye week.
But he wasn't a top draft pick like this. You know what I'm saying? He was just a guy that they got
Rachaad Rice
lucky
was
with.
the second rounder.
Rachaad Rice and Xavier Worthy's what 34 or something like that? I can't remember.
I think he got picked in the first, but it was like, I think they traded up maybe to get him. But I'm just saying that you got Travis Kelce there who's going to soak up targets. You got Rachaad Rice, let's say 8-game suspension or whatever he's going to get. But
it's going to be a lot now, I think.
It's going to be a lot. But you got Hollywood there. I mean, Xavier Worthy could be the number 4 easily.
Oh man, I'm gonna be real. You way off. You way off, crap, man. 4.
I'm just telling you, Xavier Worthy might be a long-term solution, but if you're looking to win now in Dynasty, that's where I am and where I drafted McConkey ahead. I'm taking, like I said, simple ABCs, man.
Man, this is a great conversation, man. Ladd McConkey versus Xavier Worthy. Who would have thunk, man? Who would have thunk? Me and Chris on the Xavier Worthy side. Ladd McConkey. I don't know, man. It's just
it's easy for me. Things. It's not even hard. It's easy.
Well, here's the thing. When I did my rankings, literally Xavier Worthy 4, Ladd McConkey 5. So what you're saying to me is I ain't gonna sit here and be like, "Oh man, you're an idiot. You're crazy." Like I ain't gonna be like that. I think what you're saying is you got some valid points. There ain't no doubt about it. I think another thing you got to look at is I feel like there's just a big talent gap between Xavier Worthy and Ladd McConkey. Like, man, McConkey, like he was not. I get it. He was at Georgia, but it's like it wasn't like they were dependent on McConkey to do anything special. Like he was just there just to. I mean, heck, what was McConkey? I mean, you're playing in the SEC East. Like, just because he's catching catches versus Vanderbilt and Kentucky, that don't make my dick hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least Xavier Worthy is the guy. I mean, I guess you could say Eddie Mitchell, but hell, none of us liked Eddie Mitchell like that. But I don't know, man. It's a tough crap, man. I ain't gonna sit here and act like you're crazy, though. I'm just being honest. I'll say,
I see the logic. I just think I think that Xavier Worthy is going to be utilized a lot more than just like running these routes to do. I think because with Tyreek and with Rice later in the year last year, they ran a lot of screens. I think they're going to realize that they've got a guy that they can design these screens around, and he can play make with the speed.
Were you talking about Kadarius Toney when he came in? A lot of screen passes and can utilize with his speed. Just wondering.
I said
that didn't come out of my mouth.
I said with K. Toney.
I said he bumped his knee in the locker room and couldn't play.
Yeah. K. Toney, it's funny. I just saw Kraftman's head slowly go away. Like
I had to switch it back up.
Yeah, listen, man. This is gonna be a debate. I can't wait to fly by the crew and see what they think because I have them ranked back to back. So I don't really. I don't want to be sitting here acting like I'm hating on McConkey. I actually like McConkey, but I just want to. But you're right though. I mean, he don't really have that competition. Patty Mahomes is gonna be over there doing his thing. So we'll just have to see how it unfolds. I can't wait to revisit this in the middle of the year when we're doing our little episodes where we just talk about a player here and there. I can't wait to talk about these guys by week. Maybe the back half of the year once they get
Yeah,
their they get their feet dug in a little bit. This is gonna be a good one to think about. I like it.
and this is definitely not a hate on the player. I like
Right.
Xavier Worthy a lot. Watching the tape, I mean, if you're talking about college production, the way your argument went, I agree totally. Xavier Worthy had incredible college production, but everybody was dying about the Chiefs landing spot, which I don't know if you should have been dying about the Chiefs landing spot. They have a lot of playmakers over there already. So that's my only argument. And well, I guess we'll see how it plays out. But I think McConkey and PPR is just gonna be crazy.
Yep. I can't wait to see how that one plays out. Crap, man. We've been on for a little while. That was another good one. I know you got at least a couple more. Go ahead, Crabman. Toss us on out there. If you don't,
Yeah,
then we're gonna end it.
we'll end it. We'll end it eventually. But you know, AD Mitchell, Roman Wilson, I got them down there behind Marquise Brown, Amari Cooper.
Oh man.
I don't know where you would take them guys at. They were a little tough to rank, but I pretty much put them together. It was kind of like you got your veterans like Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin, Amari Cooper, and then Marquise Brown. And then after that, it was like, just go ahead and take your shots at rookies. So I got AD Mitchell, Roman Wilson, Xavier Leggett, like back to back to back. I mean, because after that, it was just like you're looking at QJ, Jahan Dotson, Jared Judy.
I might be a little higher on Jahan Dotson than most, but yeah. As far as AD Mitchell goes, golly, that one's tough, man. Well, first of all, as far as like ranking wise, I would put AD Mitchell ahead of Roman Wilson, just because I think AD Mitchell's just way better talent wise, and that one really ain't even close. But my thing is, old Swizzy is AD Mitchell is with the Colts, and I'm not saying. And listen, I've gave Anthony Richardson my respect. He's definitely going to be a good fantasy. Honestly, he's probably going to be a good NFL quarterback here soon. But my thing is like his upside is with the rushing. Like his upside is not with slinging the rock. I know he can sling a deep ball, and heck, maybe why people like Josh Downs is because he's going to be near the line of scrimmage and he could just dump it off to him and hit him in the slot. Maybe. But is this dude really about to be supporting Michael Pittman and AD Mitchell and getting Josh Downs some support and running the rock while they got Jonathan Taylor? I just don't. But I don't know, man. I ain't really buying into that. So when I said it, Chris, I think it must have been me and you just on, or maybe Crabman was on. I was saying AD Mitchell might be off my board, but obviously that's a little crazy. Like at a point, I would take AD Mitchell. Obviously, I just don't buy into AD Mitchell, man. And the talent is fine, but he already had his question marks on the film and all that shit because he don't run every play and the dude's just slacking off and shit. Which and when it comes to fantasy, I don't even hate on him for that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. AD Mitchell over Roman Wilson, I got to keep him over, but I'm gonna be real, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they be nailing them wide receivers, and Roman Wilson's over there. I don't know, man. That was just a tough one. I think I'm gonna easily put AD Mitchell ahead because I want the talent. And the upside is there, but I ain't gonna sneeze at a Roman Wilson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just got to see. I'd have AD Mitchell ahead talent wise, and I think to me it's like clear cut that I would take AD Mitchell
Right.
above Roman Wilson right there. But like you said, like I got to see normally when you got a rushing quarterback that likes to, get everything done on the ground. If he's supporting receivers, he's supporting his main receiver, and either there's two other options: the tight end or the receiver out the slot. And with that, they got Michael Pittman, and then they got Josh Downs coming out the slot. So AD Mitchell, he's definitely going to move Alec Pierce out, I think, and move in right there. I just don't know if Anthony Richardson, being the rusher, is going to be able to support three receivers. But I would take him over Roman Wilson. But it's close. But I like Roman Wilson, though. I think he ended up in a good spot. I know Matt has said that, I mean, the Pittsburgh, they just hit on these wide receivers. But another thing is I think this Pittsburgh offense is going to try to run the ball a lot. A lot. It's going to be the Falcons offense, pretty much the old Falcons offense. Run, play action, punt. There you go. That's what it's going to be.
It is a shame that they brought in Arthur Smith to be their offense coordinator.
It is a damn shame.
Najee looking up though, right now. Where you at, Matt?
He's
Oh, he gone?
Yeah.
Gone for a minute. Well, I got a couple guys ranked right here, Chris, we could talk about. I got like 3 back-to-back, and I had no idea how to rank these guys. George Pickens, Brian Thomas, Christian Watson. They're all the same kind of receiver, deep threat guys, big play guys, and it's just very tough to figure out where these guys belong. I got George Pickens right ahead of Brian Thomas and Christian Watson, but I could see it going any other way.
Yeah, that could be tough. I mean, part of me wants to say Pickens because of the talent that's there, but what shies me away from it is the offense with Arthur Smith now, and they're going to be trying to run the ball. Russ pretty much washed. But, I mean, for what they got him for, there's no point in not doing it, and then Justin Fields sitting back there. It's just going to be weird with Pickens. I think I'm going to kind of, like, if you've got the capital to get you a George Pickens and, like, hold him, I would do it. And I feel like there'd be value to see how that pans out. But other than that, I'd have him I'd probably put him in the middle.
Who's ahead? Brian Thomas? And Christian Watson.
I'd go Brian Thomas, George Pickens, Christian Watson.
And then your boy Christian Kirk is right after that.
Oh no, Christian Kirk's ahead of all of them.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I just think he is.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas is in a good spot though. I mean, coming into Jacksonville, Zay Jones just signed with the Cardinals. If y'all didn't see, so I mean, wide open. I mean, gonna be able to get the ball. And Trevor Lawrence showed that he could support Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk before he got hurt.
Yeah, my only question with Jacksonville is just their O-line, man. Golly, that shit was so bad.
They didn't address it neither.
It did not address it, man. I thought I was tripping, but I think I was right. They did not address that shit. Yeah.
Well,
I think I agree with Chris, honestly.
A guy I got a good bit ahead of them, Keon Coleman. This could be like a major disagreement, but I mean, we like landing spots. Keon Coleman went to the Bills in a rookie draft or in a startup. Are you taking Keon Coleman above them guys that I just mentioned? George Pickens, Brian Thomas, Christian Watson?
Hell yeah. I'm taking Keon Coleman ahead of them guys just because of one simple fact. He's got Josh Allen throwing him the ball, and there is currently Chase Claypool plays for the Bills now, so let's
no competition.
No competition whatsoever.
I agree. I agree with Chris. Keon Coleman, look, Kraft, man. I've been saying it. Like I always said when we was doing our rookie stuff, like the Keon Coleman, I ain't saying he's the greatest or the best or nothing like that. But I'm just saying the upside is good and the value on Keon Coleman is good.
Keon was like a good jump ball contested catch player. And I feel like that's definitely the kind of receiver you want with Josh Allen. He loves to throw the ball to Gabe Davis and all that stuff, like down the field. He'll take shots, and Keon Coleman will probably be, if he can catch it in traffic and come down with it, I feel like he'll be good. And on top of it, like we said, he got no competition over there. So I feel like that's going to be instant value.
Yeah.
I was very shocked at where he went. I know I said something in the rookie, the breaking down the drafts. I would have taken Keon Coleman ahead of probably ahead of Brian. You know, like I'm saying now, in front of Brian Thomas. Like I wouldn't have even thought twice about it. I'm taking Keon Coleman before them
Yeah.
guys.
Well, let's put it into perspective then, because I did have Keon Coleman ranked a good bit higher than them guys. Keon Coleman or JSN?
Man, I think I'm with Keon Coleman at this point. I ain't even a JSN hater. I would buy low on JSN if I could, but I think I'd roll Keon Coleman.
I'm actually gonna go in Jigba.
What about Jaden Reed?
Mm.
Keon Coleman.
I don't know what to think about Jada Reed because the whole world, the whole Twitterverse over there is on Jada Reed, but I'm a Romeo Dubs guy, so that one's tough for me.
Yeah, that one's hard. But Keon Coleman or some of these veterans, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp.
Man, crap, man, you got that iPad. That shit just slowly rolls up. That shit just cracks me up, man. Did you say Cooper Cup? I'm taking. Is that what you said?
Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams.
Man, I'm taking Cooper Cup, man. I'm taking Devontae Adams too. To be honest with you, I'm gonna take them both and just go compete because I'm gonna be real. Gardner Minshew. That's where my tier break is right there. I'm gonna take them veterans right there over Keon Coleman.
I feel like that's tough because I love
tough.
veterans. I love veterans, but it's hard to rank them guys. I got Keon Coleman ranked above them right now.
I want to just say a little something because you know me. I've been plugging into the Twitterverse, so I've been seeing some things, and I know there's a lot of people talking about, well, Keon Coleman's there. He's taking the Stephon Diggs role, and Keon Coleman's there.
That ain't happening.
He's taking
He's
the
gonna
Gabe
take
Davis
Keon
role.
Coleman's role.
He's
Bro.
gonna take the Keon Coleman role. They gonna switch it up. They gonna do some things. He gonna do his own thing. He ain't taking none of their roles. That's just some dumbass shit. Sometimes I think the fantasy. I ain't gonna say we smarter than them, but golly. They say some dumbass shit, and it just drives me off the wall, man. He ain't Gabe Davis, and he ain't Stephon Diggs, and they're going to run the ball a little bit more in Buffalo. He's going to do his own thing.
No, I totally agree with that. I mean, Khalil Shakir is going to get his. Kincaid is definitely going to get his. And they're just going to spread it around, man. It's not going to be the Stephon Diggs role. That's just absurd. That ain't happening.
Exactly.
Keon Coleman is not the player that Stephon Diggs is in this point of his career.
Hell no.
I actually do think that Keon Coleman though has some of the highest upside of this rookie season.
Oh, I agree.
So I think that this dude could easily be like a top. I mean, I'm a shit. I was like saying 10. I mean, honestly, think this dude could break top 8 pretty easily if they get going.
Yeah, I just want y'all to think about what people say on Twitter sometimes too. Keon Coleman is 20, 21 years old. Stephon Diggs is like 30 years old. Think of a person in your life 10 years younger than you and compare them to yourself. Like, this shit don't work, man. I mean, being a veteran in the NFL, comparing to somebody who's been in the league for 10 years, who's succeeded for 10 years, I mean, I'm sorry, but that shit ain't happening.
Man, think about somebody 10 years younger than me, and I can't even say it on this podcast, and we say a lot of shit. So good. Oh, man. Crap, man. Do you have any more for us?
I mean, I think I'm good.
It's been the Crab Man show right here. We let him lead the way on this one.
Yeah, I had 6 hours to break apart all this shit, but we've done wide receivers, running backs, QBs. We say fuck tight ends. I mean, we can hit tight ends real quick if you want.
Brock Bowers is good.
Go ahead.
There we go.
Where do you
just slide him? Where would you slide him, C. Swizzy? Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers. I mean, he's definitely in like the top 4. I feel like.
You got Laporta, McBride, Kincaid, Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts.
Laporta.
No, that's not my rankings. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to go off rankings. So you said Laporta, McBride, Kincaid, Andrews, Bowers,
Pitts too.
Pitts, man.
Fuck Pitts. I'm just kidding.
I'll play it safe. I'll put Pitts at 3. Laporta at 1. The 2 spot's kind of hard though. I'm gonna go Bowers at 2. I'm gonna put Bowers ahead of Pitts. McBride. I'm gonna go Andrews and McBride.
All right, this is where I would go, crap man. I would go Laporta, then I would go Kincaid, then I would go McBride, and then I would go Bowers. And Kyle Pitts ain't. I mean, I ain't hating on Kyle Pitts, but I'd probably take Hawk before I took Kyle Pitts. You know what I'm saying? I don't care that he's hurt or not.
And Andrews.
I might would take Evan Ingram's. Oh man, I would take what's his face, Bowers over Andrews. That's where my tier break ends. Bowers is a good player. There ain't no doubt about it. I ain't gonna hate on the man, even though he's a dog.
And Kelsey is just outside of the top 5 now.
Listen, man, I like Kelsey, and I respect anybody who has Kelsey ranked up high. But my thing was with Kelsey is they gonna act like he's an NBA player, and they gonna bring him on at the end of the year and the playoffs, which is good for real football, but he's not good for fantasy football, in my opinion. The days of him being like a top 1, 2, 3 guy, them days are over, in my opinion.
Man. Wait till this dude has like 6 catches for 5 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Well, good
Again, dude.
He can win
I
me some
was
championships, man.
I was playing Micah, bro, and I was on a cruise and I was sitting there watching the game in the lobby, just looking at it. This man, Travis Kelce, done caught the ball 6 times and has got like fucking 30 fantasy points. He ain't got hardly no yards, but he got 4 fucking touchdowns, dude. Oh my god, damn.
I got a little pushback on that. He says he plays tight end year to year. Kelsey just signed a 2-year deal. Who do you think goes first in redraft? I mean, I think
Travis Kelce still goes first in a redraft.
Oh man, I don't know. I got Kelsey on my team.
I don't know if I would take him, but I think percentages wise, he's still gonna be like in your standard fantasy redraft. He's gonna be like percentage wise the tight end 1.
Yep.
People doing that, y'all can take him. I just wouldn't.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I would probably take I would take a shot at one of these lower guys and not go so high for tight end. Like Matt said, I'd be perfectly fine waiting and taking Hawk. Oh man, dude, I will wait and take TJ any day, dude.
If Hawkinson didn't get hurt, he would be up there.
I'll take Evan Ingram every day. When redraft comes, man, whatever Evan Ingram's ADP is, I would like to take a look at that. I'll take Evan Ingram because he's going to have games where he gets fucking 10 targets. So
we're going to be hitting on this redraft sooner or later, too. Come back.
We need to start hitting some mocks.
Yep. Hey, let's just go ahead. We're gonna start summing it up right here. We definitely hitting dynasty rankings, and we definitely hitting some mock drafts, no doubt about it. And
we getting in the startup together, ain't we, Matt?
Oh, we getting in the startup. We'll see if Swizzy wants to jump in there too, and we'll do this thing. We'll try co-own that. We'll try on that thing, and we'll just do that thing. For sure though. The Cruise Dynasty podcast team number 1 is dropping this year. There ain't no doubt about it. So I'm with it, man. I can't wait. We're gonna win some money too. I'm all about winning money. The fake stuff, but we win real money. That's what we do here, man. Read the description. We changed it up. And when you listen to this podcast, because it's a long episode, go ahead and crack you up in a beer. Go ahead and roll you up a joint. Go cut your grass. Be at work. I don't care where you are. You can turn on the Cruise Dynasty podcast and we're your guys. Maybe not listen to it with your kids. That's all I'll say.
Parental advisory, coming in here at the end of the episode after you just been like 2 hours and you probably listened to this thing for like 2 minutes and like, damn, they already said fuck, dude. Yeah. Like, golly.
And listen, I would love to sit here and be like, we gonna do this so everybody can hear it. But I'm just gonna be real, this ain't happening. I'll sit here and crack open the beer, and me and Craftman gonna drop some F-bombs every now and then. Chris is hitting the doobie right on the podcast. So that's just what we do here at the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Craftman, go ahead. Is there anything you want to say to our loyal people out there?
Just to add on what you said, I mean, it's what you talk about with your guys, like when you're just talking about fantasy football, you're sitting there talking about shit on your phone. It's not the podcast you come to for a whole bunch of statistics and everything like that. And it's more opinions and just people arguing about shit. And that's what we like to be. So, if you want to get on with us, hop on with us and we'll kick it with you and talk the shit.
We doing our thing. Kill said we was killing this. I wonder if he meant it. You think he's being sarcastic?
Nah, I listen to us. We're doing good.
We're killing
Yeah,
this
like we
shit.
said, man. Like you come in here, you get some statistics backed by people that watch the game.
Yeah.
I do see some people that sit there and talk about football, and I'm like, bro, these people don't even know what they talk about. I don't even think they watch the game. Then
Exactly.
you find out they watch the highlights of the game. No,
Right.
no. Sunday, I'm sitting in the chair. I got NFL Red Zone. I got all these games pulled up. I'm watching it. My fat ass sitting in the chair, and I'm watching these games. I love football. I sit here and watch it. The eye test does a lot. That's how I do my own scouting. I pick my players that way. Like if I want to trade, it's because I've seen something, I'm watching it, and I'm not gonna come up here and just bullshit somebody and tell them it's from collective data. Like it's not just statistics. Numbers don't lie, but I promise you, like it's not always gonna win you championships.
Yeah.
Not always. Sometimes you got to go out and make these moves that may seem stupid or something that may not favor you at that moment, but down the line it could pay off.
Hey, Chris is practicing what he preaches. I'm gonna go ahead and say that now. Go ahead, Crap Man.
Oh shoot, I was just gonna add on to Chris and just say that we are the Dynasty podcast that you listen to when you play fantasy football and when you know a little bit about fantasy football, because when I go into draft season, I'm going to pick the players I want because I want to win or lose by my own standards. Like
Right.
if I make the wrong selection, shit, that's on me. But the new fantasy football players out there, come listen to us. We'll give you our opinions and everything like that. But like Chris said, we watch football on Sundays and have that red zone pumping out.
The biggest thing I could tell anybody getting into fantasy football, watch the games.
Right.
Learn the players. Like, find you a select group of players that you like, and if you want to go in and join a draft, that way, if you want to do it that, like, a lot of people don't have 10 or 12 people that they can get together and put a league together and do it like we do, where we got people that keep up with it. Some people are, they live their fantasy football life joining random leagues every year, and that's how they play. They may have 4 or 5 guys that don't even set a lineup. They could be guys like us. Like I used to be bad about this. I would jump in a lobby and just to have like an authentic mock, and I would use that as my mock. Like I would join a real draft and actually draft like I'm drafting a real team, and then I ain't setting my lineup in that shit. I'm in like 4 other leagues. I'm not doing that. Like you could be stuck with somebody like me doing that. But if you know what you're doing and you're watching these players and you got a game plan when you're going in, you're going to do a lot better than you just go in there blind and be like, oh, well, I've heard this dude's name before. Let me grab him. Yeah. Or if you just one of them people that pull up stats, like past year stats. It's a new season, man. Now let me pass your stats. They don't mean shit. You got to start watching it.
Right.
Yeah.
That man Swizzy preaching, man, and that's the truth. And you know what? This is what I was thinking, Crap Man. I was kind of thinking to myself, like, what do we do? I think this year, let's just do the Cruise Dynasty Podcast Redraft League #1. It's coming this year. If you want to join a redraft league with us, and I ain't even saying we're gonna be playing in it, we're gonna hold that thing. If you in there with random motherfuckers and stuff like that, man, come join us.
Yep.
And if you want to play the fake stuff and you want to win real money, then come join us. And we're going to do the Cruise Dynasty Podcast Redraft League year #1. It's coming this year, Craft, man. We doing it. And if you trust us to host a league and you like hanging out with us, then we'll start up a dynasty draft. Start up a dynasty draft one of these years. And y'all come do it with us, man. Craft Man, he pretty much put together a whole dynasty league this year with a bunch of guys, and that thing's rolling, and that thing ain't gonna die. So
yeah,
that's how we roll. Go ahead, Craft Man.
I just agree with everything y'all said, and what Chris said. It's best to be great at fantasy football and to form your own opinions and draft creating your own opinions, because that's what makes it fun. Is you versus everybody else. It's not, listen to, all the content out there in the world and just forming your opinions on what other people say. It's about, watching the games and forming your own opinions and drafting the way you want to draft.
And Crabman is right. I listen to so much fantasy football and dynasty podcasts. It's unreal. I feel like C Swizzy and Craftman would think I'm crazy. I listen to so much of it, and the truth is, in the end, all that shit doesn't even matter. It's all about forming your own opinions and doing what you want to do and go. Man, look at C Swizzy over there. I'm looking at his face right now. That motherfucker makes a trade and gets hated on every goddamn trade. He gets hated on every trade. The man's been in. He won a championship last year. He's been in 2 championships this year. The man does what he wants to do. Who cares about what people think? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
And it's like and then, I don't ever get asked by them to like the logic of my thought process behind the trades. Like I make some bad trades. Like honestly, if I didn't give you Amon Ra, I'd probably win the championship.
yes, sir.
But I mean, I took a shot. I got H-An out of that. That could pay off. That could not. It is what it is. You take a shot, but I still made without Amon Ra. I still made the championship.
Yep. You just listen to a whole bunch of guys who love fantasy football. That's about it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the bottom line.
We're in your garage. We're in the room. We're doing whatever. We just doing what we're doing. We talking the fake stuff. Go read the description and roll one up because this is authentic as it gets. I just want to thank everybody for listening to the podcast. And hey, I ain't even saying you got to give us a 5-star review. But go tell your buddy. If he likes playing fantasy football, go tell your pal. He might like watching fantasy football. Go listen to your boys, the Cruise Dynasty Podcast.
You right?
Alright, then shit. Well, I'm gonna end it right there. All I'm gonna say is we out.
Peace.
Later.